You guys want to see something incredibly sad? This is from The Hill. They say Fox News tops CNN and MSNBC combined in October cable news ratings. Okay, this is sad, but it's even more sad than you think it is. And I'll explain why. Usually when there's one party in power, the opposing party's media factions do really well. So when Obama was in power, Fox News was crushing because those are supposed to be the resistance outlets. So it's like, oh man, the people who hate Obama, they're just looking 24/7 to scratch that itch. Tell me negative stuff about him. Let's shit on him all day long. And so they turn to Fox News. Fox News does really well. Well, now Donald Trump is president, so in theory, MSNBC, first and foremost, should be crushing in the ratings. They should be number one in the ratings. Because the resistance usually does the best when it comes to the media, because people who are in power, they get kind of lazy. They're like, whatever, we're taking care of the country. It is what it is. The people who are the resistance, they get more involved, and they want to see, hey, what's going on? Fuck this guy. Give me my negative Trump information, and they get more immersed in politics. But Fox News is still crushing them. They beat MSNBC and CNN combined, son. Combined. Goddamn. Okay, so give you some more specifics on this. Fox averaged 2.8 million total viewers in primetime, up 25% from October 2017. MSNBC placed second in the category with 1.58 million viewers, while CNN finished third with 931,000 viewers during the time period. So that's embarrassing. That's absolutely embarrassing for MSNBC and CNN. And what's amazing to me is the people who are in the industry, they're incredibly stupid. And I say that they're stupid because they've resigned themselves to this. So they actually believe, like, it's just, it is what it is. It's just written in the laws of nature that, of course, you're going to have Fox News get the most viewers. They've been dominant for so long. They've been number one for so long that it's just like, it's like a physical law that they're number one. It's unavoidable. That's always going to be the case. So they've resigned themselves to it. If you are an executive or if you are the talent at MSNBC or CNN, you should be ashamed of yourself. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not on MSNBC. I'm not on CNN. I've never been invited on there. I have been invited on Fox News, funny enough. But if I was in a situation like one of those hosts or one of those executives, I wouldn't be resigned to that. I'd say, are you fucking kidding me? These guys are selling a ridiculous backwards ideology that makes no sense. The notion that no matter what, they're going to be number one, that's bullshit. That's utter bullshit. There's always going to be a change of guard. There's always going to be shifts in the way things function. Why are you not fighting to try to get to that number one spot? Why are you not trying to give the audience what they want and also stay true to the mission of what a journalist and a reporter is supposed to be? You can do that. But no, they've resigned themselves to it. Like, yeah, what are you going to do? Fox is number one. Okay, now, here's why they're number one. They're actually giving their audience what they want. They rep an ideology. They have a philosophy. They have a take. They stand for something. Now, listen, I hate what they stand for. Most of you hate what they stand for. But they do stand for something. That's not in dispute. They stand for something. They stand for pro-Trump, pro-Republican politics. They represent a specific mindset. What does MSNBC stand for? What does CNN stand for? I'll tell you what they stand for. MSNBC is the propaganda arm of the corporate Democrats. Now, they're not the propaganda arm or the ideological arm of the left, full stop. It is of the corporate Democrats. I got news for you. The corporate Democrats are a paper tiger. Nobody likes them. You know who likes corporate Democrats? Other corporate Democrats. That's it. There's not. Meanwhile, the left, there are a lot of left fans in this country. Not a lot of corporate Democrat fans. So that's why they suck. They're the propaganda arm of the corporate Democrats, the paper tiger. It's Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer network. That's what it is. Now, CNN, what about them? Well, they're doing even worse. Well, why are they doing even worse? I'll tell you. Because their bias is towards neutrality and towards the establishment and towards sensationalism. They have 3 biases. So the bias towards the establishment is the worst one because they do propaganda for both the Democrats and the Republicans, which also feeds into the next point, which is the neutrality bias, which is they're always going to call it 50-50 because they think if they call out one side more than the other side, even if that's what's accurate and correct to do, they're going to be accused of having a bias. So they bend over backwards to be kind to the Republicans. And then the sensationalism bias is why you always get, stuff about the Kardashians or whatever goofball shit is happening on the internet today. And it's low-hanging fruit. And it's a cheap way to get eyes, but you're not going to get loyal, dedicated followers if you do that. So Fox News stands for something. The others don't. They stand for mealy-mouthed neutrality, which is nothing. They stand for pro-establishment garbage, which is nothing. Sensationalism, which is nothing. Corporate Democrats, which are nothing. Fox super serves their audience, and they crush as a result of it. Now, one more interesting fact for you. This really says something. In the key 25 to 54-year-old demographic, which is the demographic that the advertisers care deeply about because that's the age where people are most likely to buy those products. When they're too young or when they're too old, the thought among advertisers is they're not really who we're trying to target our ads at because they're not likely to buy our products. The people who are most engaged economically in the system are 25 to 54. So in the key 25 to 54-year-old demographic, advertisers covet most. That's who they care about the most. CNN fared better than MSNBC, averaging 290,000 viewers to 281,000. MSNBC and CNN in the key demo, 290,000, 281,000. Secular Talk, granted for a full day, so it's not a perfect apples-to-apples comparison, we get about 300,000 views a day. The overwhelming majority of our views are in the key demographic. We're competing in terms of the key demographic with CNN and MSNBC. We have an advertising budget of $0.00. There's a team of 3 people. And we're competing in terms of the eyeballs we get with CNN and MSNBC in the key demographic. You're telling me if we had equal resources and power to Fox News that we wouldn't beat them? Not only would we beat Fox News, I would more than double Fox News numbers. More than double. So it's beyond pathetic that Fox News beats CNN and MSNBC combined. How about you try standing for something? What do we stand for on this show? You guys know what we stand for. We're anti-establishment. We're anti-corruption. I represent a populist left ideology. But guess what? When you're populist left, you know what that means, right? You look at the polling data, and I agree with the American people on the overwhelming majority of the issues. And so I'm just trying to hold the government accountable, tell you what's actually happening, give you the facts and the information, and then give you my take on it and tell you how your government can and should be fighting for you. We would obliterate Fox News with equal resources. Absolutely obliterate them. But we're not going to see that because guess what? When you have an ideology like we have, when you stand for something like we stand for, when you believe in the philosophy that we believe in, well, a hefty chunk of it is anti-corporate. Hey, I'm not against small business. I've spoken about this before. I'm not totally post-capitalist. I like the idea of worker-owned co-ops, but I wouldn't make every business worker-owned co-op by force, but by decree or something. No. So I'm good with small business. I'm good with a very regulated version of capitalism, but when you have a generally anti-corporate disposition, we would never get equal resources to CNN or MSNBC, so we literally would not be able to compete with an outlet like Fox. So notice how the system is rigged. The media climate is rigged. Because the people who are willing to be subservient to the status quo, the people on the right, because it's embedded in their ideology that they're subservient to the status quo. They're always going to have a bigger megaphone because they're always going to be granted a bigger megaphone. Because when you're serving the elites, when you're serving the status quo, when you agree with business as usual, they'll broadcast you from coast to coast in the clearest way possible where the most people can hear you. Whereas for people like us, we're relegated to tiny corners of the internet and we have to be spread by word of mouth. And even then we get some crackdowns on us from time to time. And that's because we threaten power, money, the corporatocracy, the oligarchy, the elites. So there's always going to be that embedded bias against outlets like ours. But isn't that something that in the key demo, we literally compete with CNN and MSNBC? And how pathetic is it that CNN and MSNBC combined can't beat Fox? It's a damn shame. And unfortunately, that media climate is going to stay like that until you have a real representative of the left being the opposite force counteracting Fox News.